Good morning, children. Now we are going to discuss about mechanism of urine formation. How the urine will be formed. As we know that the structural and functional units of each kidney, they are called as nephrons. This is what the structure of a nephron, and these are also called as uriniferous tubules. Uriniferous tubules. In that, when the renal artery brings the blood to the kidney, and oxygenated blood will be supplied to the kidney, and this artery, it is having many branches called arterioles. So here in the Bowman's capsule, in the nephron, already in the earlier class we have discussed that nephron is having a cup shaped structure called Bowman's capsule. In that the capillaries network is present, that is what called as glomerulus. So in that here, this is what the efferent arteriole, AFFE RENT, efferent arteriole. This brings the blood to the nephron and it supplies to the network of glomerular region. And here onwards, efferent arteriole, EFFE, efferent arteriole carries the blood out of the Bowman's capsule, out of the glomerular region. Then here the cup-shaped structure, it is lined with a special kind of cells called podocytes, and in between cell to the cell some tiny holes or the pores will be there, so the blood will be filtered off. The blood filtered. How the blood will be filtered means, here if you observe, the lumen of the efferent arteriole is somewhat bigger than the efferent arteriole lumen size. See here the dia is maximum, here this is minimum. See, when the blood comes and stays here, it creates some pressure because of outlet is having very small lumen. That is what pressure will be created. Because of that pressure, slowly the ingredients, they are just filtered off into the next part of this is called renal tubule. So it is starting with PCT. This is proximal convoluted tubule. Into this, some of the important materials like glucose, amino acids, fats, fatty acids, and some of the water soluble vitamins, some of the potassium and calcium and sodium ions and all will be filtered off. So blood, without blood cells, it is coming out like this. This is what called as primary urine. The first step we are calling it as glomerular filtration. Glomerular filtration. In the glomerular part, because of the pressure, the filtration will be taken place, and important and some of the unwanted nitrogenous waste materials also filtered off into the primary urine. Primary urine will be formed after this glomerular filtration. Primary urine. Next, when it comes here, this efferent arteriole, it is having many branches. It is having many branches and it is connected to the walls of this renal tubule. So when it comes here, when the blood with some important materials and some of the unwanted materials, when it is coming here, it will be reabsorbed in this direction to the renal tubule or peritubular structure. This network is called as peritubular structure. So into this, the materials like nearly 75% of water as well as some other important sodium and potassium ions and some of the glucose molecules and urea, uric acid, these are all they are going into this. When it comes to this next part of this PCT, it is called the loop of Henle. This U-shaped organ is called as loop of Henle. Here nearly 10% of materials will be reabsorbed. Next, when it comes to, so this is what called as the second part in this urine formation is called as tubular reabsorption. Tubular reabsorption. In this, what we have discussed, when the primary urine passes through the PCT or the proximal convoluted tubule, some of the materials, nearly 75% of materials will be just going back into these peritubular structures, and the rest of the material comes in this filtrate, passes in this way until this we are calling it as tubular reabsorption. And here I told you, in the loop of Henle, nearly 10% of materials will be absorbed from the filtrate. When the filtrate comes to the distal convoluted tubule, this is what distal convoluted tubule. Here what happens, from the peritubular structure onwards, some of the unwanted materials like urea, ammonia, uric acid, bile pigments like bilirubin, biliverdin, and some of the excess of ions and the salts, they are coming back to this particular DCT from the peritubular structure to this DCT. So this is what the third step is called as tubular secretion. Tubular secretion. So when it reaches to this is what the collecting duct or the collecting tube, I told you, collecting tube. So the urine will be concentrated here. Fourth step here is concentration of urine. This concentration will be under the influence of one of the hormone secreted by our pituitary gland, which lies below the brain part, hypothalamus region, called the vasopressin. So it helps in concentration of urine. So excess of water should not be going out of the body. If at all it goes, there is a problem. Osmotic balance in the body will be disturbed. That is what. So how much water is needed for our body, it will be taken back, and concentrated urine to be excreted. This hormone plays a key role. But sometimes, in some cases, what happens, this vasopressin deficiency is there. If it is not secreted required quantity, then there is a possibility of getting the disease called diabetes insipidus. The disease called as diabetes insipidus. More excretion of urine will be taken place. Nearly normal human being 1.6 to 1.8 liters to be excreted per day, means here in this diabetes insipidus patients, nearly 15 liters of urine will be excreted. Number of urination times also will be increased. More water will be expelled out of the body. See, all these collecting tubules are the ducts. They open in this hilus area, this area. Nearly 1.3 to 1.8 millions of nephrons, and their collecting ducts will be opened here, here and here. And that primary urine, it passes through this ureter. These two tubular structures are called ureters. A pair of ureters, they are having the length of nearly 30 centimeters. 30 centimeters. Obliquely, they travel and opens into a elastic sac-like structure, pear-shaped organ called urinary bladder. Urinary bladder. So here the urinary bladder, it is having the capacity to accommodate nearly 600 ml to 800 ml of urine. Its capacity to withhold 600 to 800 ml of urine. When it is filled to nearly 400 to 500 ml, we used to get that urge for urination. That is what we are calling it as mixuration.